Watch y'all hard, I hit him up. Break it down, I pick it up. My best life, I live it up. I go hard, I hit him up. Watch y'all hard, I hit him up. Break it down, I pick it up. Big bang, hit him up. Hit him up, hit him up, hit him up. I got answers for the ones who played. Yeah, I do.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. Welcome back to another video episode where today we'll be sharing our predictions for AEW Fyter Fest, which streams on TNT for the next 2 weeks, and share some wrestling news going on in the wrestling world. Today we're joined by my co-host, Josh Danker.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another banger episode of the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. Let's get this underway.
Then we're joined by the man that you've seen a lot, Mr. Kyle Riker.
Thank you for the introduction. Hey guys, it's the Grim Reaper Kyle Riker. Welcome back to another fire episode of the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. Ring that damn bell. Let's get this son of a bitch underway.
All right,
Yes,
so
sir.
Fyter Fest is going to be streaming on TNT for the next 2 weeks on TNT on July 1st and July 8th. So we're going to run down the card for each week, and we'll go around and share our predictions. So let's start with Week 1, Part 1, July 1st. Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus Best Friends for the AEW World Tag Team titles. I kind of feel like Kenny Omega and Adam Page had it for long enough, so it's time for Best Friends to get the win. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah. I felt like Kenny Omega and Hangman Page had the titles for long enough. I mean, they're a great tag team, but I'm a huge Best Friends fan right now. I really like to see them win, but I'm going to go with Best Friends on this one. New champions right here.
All right, Kyle, what do you got?
The same thing. Yeah, I love Kenny Omega and Adam Page, but like I said, I agree. I think they've had the titles long enough. Because even though I'm a fan of both guys, like I think it's time for some new champions. So I'm going with Best Friends to win the AEW Tag Team titles.
Yep.
All right, then the next match, we have the American Nightmare Cody versus Jake Hager for the AEW TNT Championship. Yeah, I love Cody and Jake Hager. I love both guys, so it's tough for me to choose. So I'm just going with Cody to win the match, the damn match. All right, Josh, who you got?
Well, like I said, I'm a big fan of both guys, like you said, Jason. I'm going to go with Cody to retain. He hasn't had that. He had the title. He just won it at Double or Nothing. And Cody can hold the title for a couple months and then give it on to some other talent. But I'm going to go with Cody on this one because let him have the title for as long as he wants, you know.
Yeah. All right, Kyle, who you got?
First of all, I've been a fan of both guys ever since their WWE days, and sure, Cody just won the damn thing, but I think it's actually too early to put the title on Jake, so I'm going with the American Nightmare Cody to retain the TNT title. But, and plus, who knows, maybe Jake will win it somewhere down the road, but not yet, it's too early.
Yeah. Anyways, Hikaru Shida.
Yes.
Penelope Ford for the AEW Women's World Championship. Hikaru Shida, she just won it, so it's kind of too early to drop the title as of now, so Hikaru Shida should pick up the win. Josh, who you got?
Well, I like both competitors in this respective match, but I'm a huge fan of Hikaru Shida. I've been a fan of her since she first came to the company. She's great talent, one of the best in the business today. I'm going to have to go with Shida to retain. She's one of the best women's champions AEW has had yet. So, yeah, Hikaru Shida for the W.
Kyle?
Same here, Hikaru Shida. Yeah, she just won the damn title, so like I said, let her have a good run with it.
Yeah.
Right.
And plus, I'm actually looking forward to this match because I think it's going to be a pretty decent match, especially because both women are very, very talented wrestlers. So I think this might be one of the best matches of the night, but we'll see what happens.
Yes,
We'll see what
sir.
happens, yeah. All right, up next, we have Jurassic Express versus
my boys.
I'm Better Than You, and you know it, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, and Wardlow. I'm going for MJF and Wardlow, and he doesn't give a shit that I'm voting for them.
Yeah, you're just like he doesn't give a shit that you're a fan of him, Josh. And he told you to go fuck yourself. Which I'll never get tired of that video.
Yeah.
I'll never get tired of it.
That video was awesome.
In case you guys haven't seen it, one of Josh's friends met MJF at a show and asked MJF to give Josh a shout out. So he records the video and MJF goes, and I quote, "Hey Josh, it's MJF. I heard you're a big fan. Guess what? I don't give a shit. Go fuck yourself."
There you go. There you go. That's it. There you go. Nice.
And I loved it. And 1,300 views later. Oh, new segment.
So who am I gonna go with for the tag match? Let's see. I'm gonna go with it's kind of tough. I like both guys, respectively. I'm gonna go with MJF and Wardlow. I feel like Wardlow is a giant, and he's a great wrestler, and I like Jurassic Express, but MJF and Wardlow for the W.
Oh yeah. Kyle Riker.
All right, I would love to see Jurassic Express win because obviously I love that team, but like I said, they're pretty much they're probably gonna get their asses squashed by MJF. So I'm going with MJF's team to win this one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. The last match for week 1. Private Party and
My boys.
Yeah, that's right. Josh's boys are Private Party from AEW and the Street Profits from WWE, which I know you're probably gonna hate me for this, but the Private Party, they're basically a knockoff of the Street Profits.
Not really.
But like with them all dancing and having fun, like I was like, this is basically just the AEW version of the Street Profits.
They're basically the AEW version of Crime Time. That's what people compare them to.
I would say a combination of Street Profits and Crime Time, and I'm fine with that because I always loved both of those gimmicks.
Yeah.
All right, and then
Who are they going
so
to
Private
face?
Party are facing Santana and Ortiz in a tag team match. So I'm gonna go with Santana and Ortiz for this match
All right.
because I want to. Josh, who are you picking?
Well, you might have forgotten this, but Matt Hardy is in Private Party's corner.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
So if I had to choose, I'm going to go with Santana and Ortiz. I really love the Inner Circle.
Proud and powerful.
I actually met them. They're really cool, and I absolutely love them as a tag team because they're from New York, obviously. So, proud and powerful all the way, baby.
All right, Kyle.
All right.
Basically because Matt Hardy is in their corner, I think, like I said, that's probably going to play a factor in the finish. But if I had to pick, I would probably have to say Private Party's going to win this one, thanks to the interference of Matt Hardy.
Yeah. Anyways, that was week 1 of Fyter Fest. Josh, no, I'll run down the card. So that was week 1 of Fyter Fest. We hope you all enjoyed week 1. Let's get to week 2.
That's right. Our little mascot decided to join the party.
Hey, look, it's Pain in the Ass. It's making a guest appearance on the podcast.
Yeah.
This week is Bring Your Pet to the Crash and Burn Day.
Well, he likes to be rambunctious during the recording, so that's usually what happens.
Everyone say hello to Kyle's pet.
Yeah, say hi to Sammy.
He wants to talk wrestling with us.
Yeah, so he might be in and out. Of the episode. Because he likes to move around.
All right.
Jason, Brian Cage is challenging Jon Moxley in a singles match for the AEW World Championship. I want to go with Jon Moxley to retain because I love announcing him.
Yep.
Justin Roberts' house. Shout out to Justin Roberts.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. One of our favorite ring announcers of all time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, Jon Moxley for the win. Josh.
Well, I'm a fan of both guys. I've been a fan of both of them since their TNA days. I mean, well, Brian Cage mostly during his Impact days and Lucha Underground days. I'm going to have to go with Jon Moxley to retain because it's too early for Brian Cage since he just arrived in AEW. I feel like he's got a bright future ahead of him, though. Great talent, one of the best wrestlers out there. But it's too early yet for Brian Cage to take the title already. I'm going to go with Jon Moxley to retain because I'm a huge fan of him right now. He's my favorite wrestler currently in AEW.
Kyle, who you got?
No brainer. It's too early to put the title on Brian Cage, so I'm going for Jon Moxley to retain.
Yes, sir. All right. Next up, we have Orange Cassidy versus Le Champion, Chris Jericho, in a singles match. This is tough. I love both guys. So, random pick, Chris Jericho. Josh, who you got?
All right. Since I'm holding my thumb up, I don't know who to pick. I
Orange
want
Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy because I've met the guy twice and he's just been a comedy act for me.
And
I mean,
just, FYI, he's one of the biggest fans of Orange Cassidy. FYI for that one.
Yes,
I
sir.
am a huge Orange Cassidy fan. But if I had to choose, I'm going with Le Champion, Chris Jericho, because I've been a Jerichoholic since day one.
Yeah, same here.
Kyle.
This is a tough match because, like I said, I like both guys, and I think this is going to be a really good match, but I'm going with the Le Champion, Chris Jericho, to win this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is that, your catchphrase? That's all you say is, oh yeah.
A big shout out goes to our member, Jimmy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you're like in the
Yes.
group chat, you'll see
Shout
like
out to Jimmy.
you'll see like 10 text messages in a row, and they'll all say the same thing. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny as hell, but it's also annoying.
Oh, yeah. Annoying.
You have no
Oh,
offense, Jimmy.
yeah. Let's keep going.
You have no offense. I love Jimmy.
Yeah. We
All
love
right.
you, Jimmy. We hope to have you back on.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Hope to see him on the podcast soon.
Yeah.
All right. We have the Bad Boy Joey Janela versus the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, accompanied by Jake Roberts, in a singles match. I'm gonna go with Lance Archer for this one. Lance Archer
Okay.
for the win. Josh, go for it.
Okay. Whew. This is a match that it's kind of hard for me to pick because I love both guys. I've met in Janela at an indie show when he was very popular on the indie scene. He's a really cool guy, fantastic wrestler. Definitely the future of the business. I'm a huge fan right now of the Murder Hawk. I'm going to go with Lance Archer on this one because he's dominant and he can't be stopped, you know?
Yeah. Kyle.
Yeah, same thing. I'm going with Archer on this one. He's been very dominant lately, and plus it seems like they're trying to push him, so I'm going with Archer to win this one.
Yes, sir.
Alright. And I'm running down the card on Wikipedia right now. Did you guys see the fourth match, Nyla Rose versus to be announced? Like I think it's an open challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is an open challenge.
So who do you guys think is gonna accept the challenge?
For me, I'm gonna say it's since it seems like she's been hinting at it, I'm gonna go with Britt Baker.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
She's been like teasing it like ever since. I think it was ever since Riho lost the title like months ago. She's been like teasing, yeah, I'm gonna go after the title soon. So I'm gonna say Britt Baker's probably gonna answer the challenge.
We'll just have to tune in on July 8th.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Fyter Fest.
Either way, no matter who she faces, I think Nyla Rose is gonna retain the title. I think she's gonna win the match.
She's not the
She's
not the champ.
I forgot she wasn't the champ, but I think she's gonna, win the match.
Dominate.
Right?
If I had to pick who she would face, I would like to see one of my personal favorites. I'm a fan of Big Swole right now. I feel like I like her in the ring. She's very athletic, and I feel like I want to see Big Swole and Nyla Rose because they haven't really done much with Big Swole. She's been in like segments with Britt Baker and a lot of other wrestlers on the AEW, but we'll have to see. Well, maybe it could be a surprise. Maybe it could be somebody from the locker room.
One I like to see, hopefully, because there could possibly be like a revenge angle on this. But bring out Riho.
Yeah.
Get your revenge on Nyla Rose, like during that feud they had. So I would say bring out Riho. So my pick is either Riho or Britt Baker to come out and answer the challenge.
So yeah. We'll
Okay.
see. Up next, called Boom Boom Cabana and the Dark Order versus SCU. In a 6-man tag team match. I love Colt Cabana and the Dark Order, so I'm gonna go for them to win. How about we start with Kyle for this match?
All right.
This is a tough one. As much as it kills me to say it, I'm going with Dark Order. As much as I can't freaking stand Colt Cabana.
Don't want a
Cool.
Dark Order.
But I think it's pretty much obvious.
Join us.
So I'm going with Dark
We
Order.
are one. Dark Order.
What are we? We are one.
Dark Order.
All right, Josh.
All right. Ooh. As much as I love both teams, as much as I can't stand the Dark Order, man, this is a tough one. I might have to, since the Dark Order has been very dominant as of lately, because of Brody Lee as the Exalted One and the leader of Dark Order, I want to see
Josh,
SCU win.
You meant to say Mr. Brody Lee.
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Brody Lee. I'm sorry, Brody Lee. Mr. Brody Lee. But if I had to choose, I'd go with my boys. SCU!
All right. Yeah.
No surprise.
All right, then the last match for Fyter Fest, like in general, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, FTR, and the Young Bucks versus the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Phoenix, the Lucha Bros, in an 8-man tag team match. Wow. I'll let Kyle go first again.
That's easy.
And I'll go last.
Like I said, as much as I hate FTR, because I hated them in their NXT days when they were known as the Revival, because I can't stand them. Probably one of my least favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good. I just don't get what's the hype around them. As much as it kills me to say, I'm going to say third team's going to win this one.
So FTR and the Young Bucks. All right.
And plus, since FTR is new, they're kind of newer guys, so build them up a little bit.
Right.
Josh, go ahead.
All right. So, as you all know me, I'm a huge fan of the Young Bucks. I've been a Young Bucks fan since day one.
Yeah, me too. Ever since the Ring of Honor days.
Yeah, I've been a Young Bucks fan since day one. I like the Butcher and the Blade. They're a great tag team, and I'm a huge
Agreed.
fan of the Lucha Brothers.
Same here.
But if I have to go with my pick on this one, I have to go with FTR and the Young Bucks, because the FTR is I actually kind of like them in AEW. They actually kind of grown on me since they left WWE. But as much as I can't stand them, period, when they're doing a promo, just build them up, see what they can do. Maybe they could be in the tag title picture, So I'm going to go with FTR and the Young Bucks.
Alright, for me, I'm going to go for, FTR and the Young Bucks.
Okay, so we're all picked the same. All right.
Alright, so that was the whole Fyter Fest predictions episode. Hope everyone enjoys both weeks, and stay tuned for next week, which is when we recap the first week of Fyter Fest. Anyways, Josh, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Alright. So, best part about Fyter Fest, you guys, you don't have to pay $50. It's officially free!
Fantastic. I could probably watch it this time, because I never watch the pay-per-views, because I ain't paying no $60 every month.
I do.
Well, that's on you.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you can afford it, that's fine. Yeah, but us, I mean, sure, I can though, but it's kind of pointless to do it every damn month.
Yeah.
Alright.
Especially when I have so many other subscriptions.
Alrighty, guys. So we're going to get into the next segment of the podcast, which is basically my favorite segment besides going down pay-per-view predictions, wrestling news. So we're going to get into some
share
wrestling
everything
news
that's
today.
what's going on in the world and just get our opinions on what happens.
Yeah.
So, I have something I want to share, Josh.
All right, go ahead, dude.
So, Renee Young and Kayla Braxton said they got the coronavirus, along with some other people that tested positive.
Oh, and also a side note on that. Apparently, Kayla Braxton, she caught the coronavirus for the second time, this time around.
That's what makes the virus scary.
I remember her announcing it that she had it once.
Yeah.
I don't remember that either. So yeah.
So she must have kept it to herself during the first time around.
Yeah.
So. And then the Great American Bash is returning to NXT, which is pretty cool.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
I believe that's gonna be next Wednesday.
I liked the original incarnation of that pay-per-view back then.
Yeah, seems like NXT's bringing back some of the old back then.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
they brought back In Your House last time. So it looks like they're taking old WWE pay-per-views and just bringing it to NXT. Well, which I think is a
Yeah,
very
it
neat
was just
idea. Which is a very neat idea because it brings in the old school
right.
crowd because they might recognize that name. Like, oh, In Your House or Great American Bash. So, like me, because I grew up with that pay-per-view, Great American Bash, back in the day.
So I have something I want to share, and it's kind of the number one trending thing in the wrestling world today, kind of in wrestling news in general. If you guys have been keeping up, so Impact Wrestling terminates Tessa Blanchard's contract. So Tessa Blanchard is no longer signed with Impact, and she was stripped of the world title. So I'll read the article I have here on my laptop. So it says Impact Wrestling has terminated Tessa Blanchard's contract and stripped her of the Impact world title, according to Pro Wrestling Insider. She was originally going to defend the title at Slammiversary on July 18th against Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, and Trey of the Rascals team. I'm not a huge fan of Impact Wrestling, but I love some of the talent they have there. The match was going to be her first match since COVID-19. She's been stuck in Mexico due to the pandemic and missed several empty arena tapings. If you guys haven't been following back, Tessa Blanchard made some racial comments to a wrestler in TNA, Impact, I should say. In Impact, she made a racial slur. She said the N-word. Apparently, in the article, that's what it was saying. And I'm kind of not surprised that she didn't get fired first off from it, but I think according to the recap, and they're like, oh, we have to let you go. And now, I want everybody's opinion on this. What do you think is next in the career of Tessa Blanchard? Because I feel like she's been one of my favorites. She's fantastic talent.
She might
one of the
go
best.
to like another wrestling company, maybe.
Good idea. I feel like she's gonna be on the indie scene now.
Yeah, I could see her going to the indie scene for a little bit. You know, whenever they're able to do shows again, because obviously the COVID's still going on and they haven't opened up any indie shows yet. But I could say if she does choose to go back to any of the bigger companies, I could see her in Ring of Honor or AEW because I think her character and her style could definitely work in the women's division.
Right. I love to see her in AEW as well. Like I said before, she's one of the best talent out there, and I wish her a lot of luck.
Personally, I would love to see her in AEW because don't ask me why, but I just think it sounds like a good match. Like one of my dream matches right now in the women's division is Tessa Blanchard versus Britt Baker because I think their characters could definitely play off of each other. So I like to see that match at some point.
I like to see that. That's definitely a great match indeed for a dream match. That's definitely one of the best ones I have in mind for the women's
and it is a match that still could possibly happen because both women are still active, so it could happen if they ended up in the same company.
True. So another piece of news I like to share in the latest area, besides Tessa Blanchard getting released by Impact due to the negotiations, I got word that a 205 Live match for tonight's show has been announced, which will be Tony Nese and Isaiah Scott. These are two very world-class athletes. These are two great cruiserweights in the division, and as much as I don't like 205 Live, I mean I liked it in the very beginning when it had all the original cruiserweights on. I really.
But now it's just getting
really am a Tony
boring
Nese
at the point.
Yeah, pretty much. So, who has any news they'd like to share right here?
At this moment, no. I mean, I usually save it on my Twitter, so I'm looking through it right now, and so far I don't see anything. But if I do find something, I'll let you know.
So,
all right.
You want to share your announcement that you have to share with everybody on the podcast, Kyle?
Oh, that's right.
Go ahead.
Well, some of my followers on Instagram have, requested this, and I thought about it for a little bit, and I finally decided to start working on this project a couple of days ago, and that is, since apparently it is known that I am a singer-songwriter, people have said, why don't you record videos of yourself, doing covers of some of your favorite songs or song requests? I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not sure because I'm still a little shy about my vocals, but I was like, you know what the hell? So about a few days ago, I created a third Instagram account because I have three. The third one will be actually where I post my covers. I'm still working on the logo and the name for it, but coming soon will be covers of me singing on that page.
Oh, nice. Oh wait, I have 4 pieces of news that I want to share actually.
Go ahead.
All right, so former WWE star Sarah Logan announced that she's stepping away from wrestling.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do you guys feel about this?
I'm a little disappointed.
I'll start off.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
I'll start off. I'm kind of disappointed because I actually liked her. She was great talent. First off, I felt like after the Riot Squad went their separate ways, they kind of just buried everybody except Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. But now I think they're giving up on Liv too and Ruby. But I feel like she could move on from being a wrestler. Spend time with her husband, who is one half of the Viking Raiders, Eric. She could also pursue another career, maybe, whatever her second hobby is. Like, look at all the wrestlers that you saw got released. If you guys don't know, Rusev is actually now doing Twitch streams to keep himself busy, since he's no longer under contract with WWE. Alistair and Zelina Vega are doing the same thing. They have their own YouTube channel.
Yeah, Alistair and Zelina have their own YouTube channel. Even though they're still involved with the company, they like to, blow up some steam. And yeah. I personally love Alistair and Zelina's YouTube channel. Like I said, we get to see them play games,
You're a big fan of Alistair.
Yes, I like to see them go to comic book stores and pick out all their figurines and stuff like that, because they're geeks just like I am. And I think it's actually really cool to see what they're like behind the scenes.
Right.
All right, the next one I want to share is Travis Banks has been released from his contract with NXT UK. His release follows Jack Gallagher and Ligueras. All 3 wrestlers were named in the hashtag Speaking Out movement. Like, that stuff's been going around.
Yeah.
And I know Jack Gallagher was probably not under the best of terms when he left, because usually when they release somebody, if it's on good terms, they'll say, okay, we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. But with Jack Gallagher, when they announced it, they didn't say any of that. All they said was WWE has come to terms on the release of Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and then that was it. They didn't say anything else. They didn't say, oh, best of luck in your future endeavors. So you can probably tell they weren't on the best of terms when they released him.
And another person, don't mind that noise in the background, everybody. Another wrestler who got released was Ligro. Ligro he was also involved with the sexual allegations thing, and a lot of other wrestlers have been coming up with this certain topic. I've been in multiple group chats, and most of my friends have been sending up news that some of the wrestlers that I followed in the indie scene and well as WWE, one of them was a shocker to me. I don't know if they're going to do anything about him since he's pretty big on TV right now, and that man is Austin Theory.
Yeah.
Another one that kind of shocked me was Josh Briggs. If you guys are not familiar with Josh Briggs, he's an independent wrestler. I met him at the last Evolve show I went to. It was my only Evolve show that I went to. Evolve is no longer existing now because the WWE bought the company. Because they always use. If you guys never been to an Evolve show, it's a company based out of New York, independent wrestling. They get all the best young talent. And sometimes for signings, they get the NXT talent because they have a really good relationship with NXT. And that's how you're able to meet guys like Ciampa, Gargano, Keith Lee, Adam Cole, some of the top guys you see on NXT. And now that Evolve is no longer done, I actually was kind of shocked that Josh Briggs, who was the Evolve champion before Evolve closed their doors. But I'm kind of shocked at the things I saw where I don't want to say it on here because it's very, very disturbing and stuff like that, but the world of professional wrestling is kind of in a danger zone right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And then today's Raw tapings has been canceled. Wow, I think it was due to the coronavirus test.
Yeah, all the COVID stuff. And apparently it did not affect SmackDown that I'm aware of, because SmackDown is still on tonight and it still says it's a new episode. Even though some people say it might be a repeat of last week, so we'll see.
So do you guys think they're gonna still air Raw Monday? Are we still gonna get Monday Night Raw?
If I had to guess, I think it might be the situation that happened in 2015 because I remember in 2015 it was in January. It was when the Royal Rumble happened. There was a big snowstorm, and because of the snowstorm, the people were unable to travel, so they canceled Raw, and instead of Raw, they aired, I think a majority of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view on TV that night. Which some people were mad because like, oh, we had to watch that on the network last night, and you're going to air it here on Raw. But obviously, it wasn't their fault that the snowstorm happened, because the snowstorm started like immediately after the pay-per-view went off the air. So they canceled Raw and they played the Rumble, on
I think it's
USA
for
that
the
night.
people that
So
hasn't
I
watched
think
the
so.
pay-per-view live.
Yeah, so I think that might happen. They might play old episodes, or they might just play old pay-per-views. So like they've been doing on FS1. So,
yeah, like if you guys saw last week, they played the 2008 Royal Rumble on FS1.
Yeah, like they play all kinds of pay-per-view on FS1. Like they done like WrestleMania 3. They done like I think SummerSlam. So many different WrestleMania pay-per-views. Like pretty much you name it, they've played it.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to share was there's some spoilers for plans for SmackDown tonight.
It's going to be a special tribute to the Undertaker for this week.
Yeah, that's
that's another one. Undertaker announced his retirement this week.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so guys, Crash and Burn here would like to say thank you to the dead man.
Exactly. I have so many memories of watching Undertaker in his matches over the years for the past 13 years, because I've been a wrestling fan for 13 years, and I have so many memories of the Undertaker.
And you guys know I had the honor to see him live in person at MSG.
So all I have to say is, Undertaker, if by somehow you're listening to this, thank you for all the memories you've done over the years, not just the 13 years I've been watching, but also the almost 30 years you've been doing NWE, and also just, much respect to you for doing what you've done. Put your body on the line for these intense matches and just for our entertainment. So much respect.
Despite your age.
Exactly, despite your age, and much respect to one of the greatest of all time, and probably, in my opinion, the greatest to ever lace up a pair of boots, Mark Calloway, aka the Dead Man, the Undertaker. So thank you.
And then thank you for making me a wrestling fan, and thank you for making my dream come true at MSG when I was at that show. I had the honor to see you live, and thank you, Dead Man.
Undertaker, for the past 18 years, you've changed the wrestling landscape over the years since you came to this company till now. I had so many memories watching Undertaker on TV. When I first watched wrestling, I was like, wow. I was like so amazed by the Undertaker. I was like, who the heck is this freaking 6-foot giant and looks like a freaking Grim Reaper type character, like a freaking and then I'm like, damn. And then I watched some of his matches when he was like the world champion at the time, because he was the world champion back in like 09, 010. Basically, I watched his matches. I'm like, wow, this guy inspires a lot of people watching. Like, no matter what, if you're a wrestling fan or not, and if you haven't heard of The Undertaker, go on Google, type The Undertaker, or go on the network, and you will be amazed. All I like to say is thank you, Undertaker, for what you've done behind the scenes and in the ring, showing what you do to millions of fans watching around the world.
And thank you for giving us chills.
Thank you for giving us
exactly.
chills.
I get goosebumps every time I hear that theme song. Every time.
I had it the most when I was seeing him in person.
Yeah, like everything's
I wish I got to like actually meet him, but at least I saw him in person.
Yeah, he does autograph signings once in a while, so who knows? If you're able to afford the prices he charges, maybe you might be able to get a picture and autograph with him at some point. Because I know he charges a pretty hefty penny for an autograph and a picture.
Wow.
I think it's a few $100s. Well, yeah, which I can understand that, because he's one of the biggest names of all time. So of course the venue is going to say, yeah, you had to charge a lot of money for your autographs.
Yeah.
And plus, don't forget the millions of action figures and collectibles of the Undertaker.
Exactly.
The millions of merch. I actually am looking up a bunch of Undertaker figures right now, and there's one thing that every Undertaker...
And subscribe to these two channels. Subscribe to them.
Yeah.
It's going to be down in the description below.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I pretty much have more action figures of The Undertaker than any other wrestling action figure that I collect. And I'm a big action figure collector, so I have more figures of The Undertaker than anybody else. Like, if I counted, you could probably say I have, like, 15 Undertaker figures.
Because of all the stuff he's done over the years. There's one Undertaker figure it's actually a 5-pack of The Undertaker and from all his...
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was a Toy Show's exclusive, wasn't it?
Yeah. If anybody has that in their collection, And if you're willing to, hit me up in them DMs, let me know if you could spot one.
Yeah,
for
same
me.
here. I would love to have that set mint on card because the box is gorgeous and it makes a great display piece because it showcases all the different eras of his career, from when he debuted at Survivor Series in 1990 all the way to when that set came out, which I believe was 2014, I think.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a great display piece where it shows all the different eras.
Yeah. And I'm going to go around the table here. We're going to do a table for three, WWE Network style.
Awesome.
Virtually.
So, I want to get, what's your favorite moment of The Undertaker's? Like,
Ooh.
favorite moment of The Undertaker's career? I'll start off.
You start.
I'll
I'll go next.
Alright. My favorite moment of The Undertaker, man, there's so many different memories he's given us over the years. But definitely from me growing up, whereas when he had that feud with CM Punk, that was definitely one of my favorite feuds. Besides CM Punk feuding with another one of my childhood heroes, Jeff Hardy,
which is my favorite feud of all time.
Yeah, and when Undertaker was world champion, I remember watching this match prospectively, and it had two of my favorites in it. Well, Undertaker's one of them. It was from the Royal Rumble back in 2010. It was Rey Mysterio versus The Undertaker for the world title.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And if you guys don't remember, if you guys watched wrestling back in 2010, I'm sure most of you guys watch the podcast have. If you remember, there was a steel cage match on SmackDown before the Royal Rumble, the night of the Royal Rumble. It was Batista versus Rey Mysterio. The winner wants to face The Undertaker at the Royal Rumble. And everyone's like, oh, Batista's going to win. Batista's going to win. He's going to face The Undertaker, beat him for the title. Nope. It was all the kids wanted Rey Mysterio to win the title.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. And when I watched that match, I'm like, Rey Mysterio, I mean, we're getting off topic here because we're talking about The Undertaker. Rey Mysterio, for a guy his size, to fight The Undertaker, who's, like, bigger than him.
Yeah,
wow.
Undertaker's like, he's like really huge. He's like really tall.
Yeah.
Like, when I saw Rey Mysterio, he blew my mind.
Yeah.
When he faced
they definitely pulled off a great match. Like those two styles, they definitely had great chemistry in the ring in that match.
Another thing.
And another match that definitely had great chemistry from that era was definitely in 2008. It was an Extreme Rules match on SmackDown. It was The Undertaker versus my childhood favorite, the Charismatic Enigma, Jeff Hardy. That was a great Extreme Rules match, by the way.
Yeah.
And also that ladder match, the ladder match that in 2002, Jeff Hardy versus Undertaker in 2002, when Undertaker was the American Badass. That is a phenomenal match. Like, that's a match you need to see. That's one of the must-see matches.
Yeah.
Not just Undertaker's career, but wrestling in general.
Right. Another thing I wanted to go down here is when the Undertaker...
Hang on. I'm going to share my favorite memory of the Undertaker.
Go ahead, my fault.
Before I do that, from Death Valley, weighing 299 pounds, The Undertaker.
Nice try. Or it's Justin Roberts would go, I'm not Justin Roberts, so I'm not going to sound him, but it'd be like, The Undertaker!
Yes, but anyways, Taker versus Shawn Michaels at 25, and of course seeing him live in person, that's my first memory. And The Undertaker versus John Cena, well, back then, and his match with Triple H. Those were pretty awesome memories.
Especially the end of an era match at WrestleMania 28 in 2012. That was a very emotional match, too. Like, Shawn Michaels as the referee, and then the match itself, Taker versus Triple H with Michaels as the referee. That was a phenomenal match. That's another match you need to see, too.
Yeah. And it was a very, very emotional match, too. Very, very...
It was. Shawn Michaels was actually crying during that match, too, every time he kicked out. I was like, what a match. I was on the edge of my seat watching that live on pay-per-view when it happened.
But this was Shawn Michaels. He goes, this is the most beautiful match of all time. And it'll always be the greatest.
Damn it, Sean.
But definitely another favorite match of mine personally.
But anyways,
was when...
that was my memories. Of course, seeing live in person was one. So whoever wants to go ahead, go.
Another one of my favorite Undertaker moments was, and of course one of my favorite matches was when he fought Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 and 26. Well, 25, I kind of like the concept behind it because Shawn Michaels came out as the Undertaker. If you guys didn't see that match,
Yeah, he was basically the Undertaker, but with a white hat and a white jacket. It was basically light versus darkness. Great
I think
concept.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was simple yet effective. Like, I loved that match. That is probably my favorite WrestleMania match of all time. Just love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when and kudos to the Undertaker for that match because there's actually a spot where he did the dive to the outside. He landed on the cameraman, and the way his body was bent, he almost landed on his neck. I'm surprised he didn't injure his neck from that spot.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like I said, he landed on the cameraman. I was like, damn.
Damn.
And he's a big guy, so
Yeah, Undertaker's a big dude. He's like what, 6'10", I think.
somewhere between there, yeah.
But he's really tall.
Yeah. And then they had that match again at 26 where it was career versus streak. So if Shawn Michaels lost the match, his career was over. And if The Undertaker lost, the streak ended. That was another great match.
Especially the finish. Especially the finish where Undertaker gives Shawn Michaels not just a tombstone, but gives him a super tombstone. Like, it's probably the hardest tombstone you've ever seen. Like, he leaps like a foot in the air to give him the tombstone instead of just dropping on his knees like he always does.
And basically, that was a kind of another emotional match because Shawn Michaels was sitting in the ring, saying, like, my career is over now. What do I do? But I kind of felt like he needed to hang it up because he's in the business longer than the Undertaker actually was.
Yeah, same with Taker. I mean, sure. Like I said, I'm glad he had a great career, but like I said, I think it is time for him to hang it up because he's been a lot slower. Because that's just how it is. It just happens with age. You know, your body can't physically take the abuse that it does in the ring.
Right.
So a lot of his more recent matches are kind of bad, but most of his matches are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh, we're wearing blue.
Yeah, both of you are wearing blue.
We're almost wearing the same colors all the time.
Yeah. It's that thing. It's like when Raw happens, I wear raw ass red. And he wears raw ass red. And then when it's SmackDown, he wears blueberry blue. and if you guys don't know where that joke is from, it's from Grimm's Toy Show, where
exactly.
They go raw ass red and blueberry blue.
Or sometimes when it's a bright red T-shirt, he'll call it the fruit roll-up shirt.
Yeah.
Which that's what the Universal title was known as when it first debuted. When it had the red stripe, people go, "Oh yeah, the fruit roll-up belt."
The Twizzler title.
Yeah, the Twizzler.
I called it the Twizzler title. When I saw that, I was like, ew.
I liked it,
I
liked it, but I hated how bright red that damn strap was.
When they revealed it, they were like, here it is, the WWE Universe title, and the whole crowd at some point like.
Well, first they're all excited, like they're like, and then they take the thing off, and they're like, like they just hated it.
Okay, so what was a better title design? Because we had, when Rick Philly revealed the 24/7 title, or when they revealed the AEW Women's World title.
I would say when they revealed the AEW World title.
One of my favorite championships, and I really wish this championship would have been revealed on TV. If you guys most of you guys have probably seen this on WShop.com, the custom Undertaker, the Phenom Championship.
Yes.
I mean, just look at that thing. That thing is a beautiful design. Like, I want the miniature replica of that belt because you can get one for like, I think it's for like your wrist or something like that. It's like a watch, but it's like a miniature replica of the belt. Like, I want that thing so bad. Like, it's just a beautiful design.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, there's millions, and I mean millions of Undertaker memorabilia, merchandise based on the dead man himself. One thing people always have in their collection, I have a friend of mine, his name is James. Shout out to James, everybody. He is the biggest Undertaker fan I know.
Yeah.
My friend James is a big Undertaker fan. He was actually front row for the 25th anniversary of Raw in New York, where he saw the Undertaker live. I mean, I have the Funko Pop of him on my shelf over there. But if you look on like his, if you want, like, if you go on his Facebook page, he'll show pictures of his room, and there's a lot of Undertaker memorabilia and merchandise. So he's really a big Undertaker fan. So once again, shout out to you, James, the Undertaker guy, as I call him. So yeah, one thing. So I want to, before we end this podcast over here, because we're running out of time here. So I want to get everybody's favorite piece of Undertaker's merchandise. So for me, I have to go with some of the action figures that they made of him over the years. Obviously, I'm a figure guy, obviously, and some of the stuff and a lot of the artwork they made. One of my favorite pieces of the Undertaker is, like what Kyle said, the championship title. That thing is just a work of art, and it's a very beautiful piece.
And for me, it has to be this Undertaker shirt.
Oh
Nice.
wow! Oh, that's
Yeah.
him from like '95 or '96 when he had the purple tie.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so this is my favorite.
That's
piece
actually
of
one of my favorite eras. So I'm glad I have an action figure of that. That's like one of my favorite eras.
Yep.
Let me get my Undertaker pop. As millions
Put
of
this
other
back in my
pops on the
closet.
shelf. This is my
Yeah, that's a beautiful.
Undertaker.
Yeah, that's a beautiful Funko Pop. I want that
This
so
is
bad.
my
As well as the first one that came out where he has the top hat and the trench coat. Like I want that Funko Pop. It came out back in 2011, I think, and I want that pop so bad. Because to me,
Yeah.
that is the Undertaker. Trench coat, hat. That's the Undertaker right there.
right.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my favorite piece, and that is a figure they made a few years ago, and it comes with now the jacket. Now usually they've made a lot of Undertaker figures with the trench coat and the hat, and the jacket was usually like a hard rubber piece of junk. But nowadays they give him like this fake leather jacket, and it just looks beautiful. So I actually have a figure of him in that coat and hat on my display shelf because I have like a shelf of wrestlers from my childhood on that shelf, like anybody who wrestled during that era. And like front and center is Undertaker posed like this with the hat and the trench coat, and the trench coat's like it's like a fake leather material, and it looks beautiful. It does. It looks gorgeous.
Outros.
Let's go. I'll start this
All
time.
right.
Thank you all, everyone, for tuning into this week's episode of Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. We hope you all enjoyed this episode. Follow us on our Instagram at Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast, on our Twitter at Crash and Burn Pod, and then DM one of us on Instagram or Twitter if you guys want to join our Discord server, which is up and running, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on post notifications, like, comment, and subscribe.
We do episodes every single Friday.
Every single week.
Yes, sir.
Coming soon is going to be our interview series called Crash and Burn Behind the Ring. Yes, that is our name reveal.
Yeah, our name for our interview series is Crash and Burn Behind the Ring. Basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to get some wrestlers on the podcast, and we're going to talk to them about what they do on the outside and what they like about wrestling inside of the ring. It's basically a little story about what they like to do inside and outside of the ring. So make sure you guys stay tuned for our interview series Behind the Ring.
Yes, and check me out on Instagram at WrestlingFanKid15. So yeah, that's my outro. Josh, go.
Alright, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to another awesome episode of the Crash Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am the assassin, Josh Stenger, as always. And follow the podcast on Twitter at Crash and Burn Wrestling Crash and Burn Pod. Instagram at the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for all podcast episodes. If you guys are new here to the podcast,
we did our
if you guys
first 6
haven't
episodes on Anchor.
and they're all on major platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. You guys can take us on the go if you guys want to, and you guys can also take us on the go on YouTube because YouTube is on your phone as well, so you guys can watch us while you're on the go. And also, guys, coming soon will be Crash and Burn merchandise. We got that on the way very, very soon.
Yeah,
So
it's still in the early stages, so don't get too excited. Yeah, we're still in the early stages, but it is coming. It is coming.
It is coming. We're just getting started, so don't blame us.
Yep. And yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram at Josh's Toy Show, and also follow me on Twitter at Josh's Toy Show 4Y. Also, follow me on all the social medias. Follow me on Twitch, guys. I'm also a Twitch streamer.
Oh yeah, and follow his twin, DJ Ghost.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know where
You
he is
know
right now,
what
but
it is.
he knows when to not bother Josh.
Alright, Kyle, you want to say a little piece there?
Sarah, Sarah, outro, brother.
All right. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching another fire episode of the Crush Remember Wrestling Podcast. Keep in touch with me on Instagram at Rock and Roll for Reviews, and also if you are interested in checking out my new account where I'll be posting covers of me singing, just send me a DM and I'll hook you up with the link, because my screen name as well as my logo will be changing very, very soon, so you might not be able to find it if I told you my screen name right now. So just send me a DM and I'll hook you up. Be sure to also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I upload videos every single Saturday. Just look up Kyle Riker and you'll find me. And I actually have a review coming tomorrow, so like I said, stay very tuned for it. And also, like I said, stay tuned for more episodes of the podcast, and I'll see you guys next week, right here on this channel. This is the Grim Reaper, Kyle Riker, signing out.
All right. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys. We'll see you next week.
Take care.